Around a year ago, we put out a video which posed the question, will weed ever be legal in Britain? The conclusion we came to was that, looking at the evidence, it seems unlikely that this will ever happen while Theresa May is still in office. However, it's beginning to look like that we might have been wrong. The UK Home Secretary recently announced that specialist doctors will, as soon as autumn, be allowed to prescribe cannabis-derived medicines. Javid did say that the use of these medicines was only for exceptional clinical needs. Despite this, it seems like a fairly major change of heart, considering the Prime Minister's previous comments on marijuana.
The reason I don't believe in legislating making cannabis use legal is because of the impact that I see it having on too many people in terms of drug use. And I think what we've seen is stronger forms now being used. I think it can have a real impact on people in terms of their mental health.
The UK is one of the world's largest exporters of medical cannabis, and yet up until this point, the use of cannabis-derived drugs was illegal in the UK. Cannabis was a Schedule I drug, which meant that it was believed to have no therapeutic use and couldn't be lawfully used or prescribed within the UK. The new laws mean that some cannabis-derived medicines can be reclassified as Schedule II drugs, allowing doctors to prescribe them to patients. It's worth noting that these changes won't happen automatically in Northern Ireland. Due to the nature of Northern Ireland's devolved parliament, it will have to be agreed by the Northern Irish government before the new laws apply there too. This change comes after the Advisory Council on the Misuse of Drugs and the Chief Medical Officer for England advised in a recent review that patients with some conditions would benefit from being offered cannabis-derived treatments. The amount of research into the usefulness of cannabis has been limited in the UK. As we previously discussed, cannabis was a Schedule I drug, preventing its use or prescription. However, that also limited research. As to research cannabis-related drugs, scientists needed special Home Office licenses. Under new laws, it will be far easier to research cannabis and the drugs that are derived from it. Despite the limitations, there's still a large body of evidence showing that cannabis can be useful when treating a number of issues. The British Medical Journal recently published an article showing how cannabis could help sufferers of chronic pain, nausea and vomiting from chemotherapy, drug-resistant epilepsy, and other conditions. This whole review into cannabis law was instigated by the Home Secretary as a result of the public outcry surrounding epileptic patients being denied cannabis oil, which they claimed would help with their seizures. The Home Secretary addressed this specific case in his remarks, saying, "Recent cases involving sick children made it clear to me that our position on cannabis-related medicinal products was not satisfactory." He went on to say that patients such as these will now be able to access cannabis-related medicines legally in the UK. However, he was very clear to highlight who this law was designed to help. Javid said that the law would help patients with an exceptional clinical need, but it is in no way a first step to the legalisation of cannabis for recreational use. Despite this, it's still possible that the UK could see cannabis being legalised in the coming years. We discussed in a previous video that a large number of countries are already legalising weed in some form, and the UK could be the next one to follow suit. If you want to find out more about the possibility of the UK legalising weed for recreational use, check out our other video on the topic. There's a link in the description. For more news and politics videos, make sure to subscribe to TLDR News.